Yeah. All right, so listen, y'all. I'm about to give it to y'all raw and uncut. You know, I started talking to Team Spence, I would say, and Al Hammond and them about May. You know, right after his fight. You know, just going back and forth. You know, they sending me a proposal with the interest of a Spence and Crawford fight. We didn't get a contract until August, and you know, it was just kind of like a regular contract. You know, it wasn't nothing. It was initial proposal. It wasn't even a contract. It was a proposal, and Spence, Crawford, the intentions of us fighting. Okay, so we going on the basically the negotiations of what a contract would look like before we actually got the actual contract. Al goes in to saying a guy that I don't know, never represented me, not affiliated with Team Crawford, have no whatsoever place in Team Crawford's, you know, stable, representing me in a contract which I have no nothing upon that I agreed to. So basically that was a standpoint of what the contract would look like. So basically I'm talking to Al, and I'm like, Al, come on, man, I don't even know this guy. You know, how can you do that? And he's like, well, the guy stated he's a part of your team and whatnot. And, you know, we going back and forth, you know. I was a good dude, man. I was a, you know, charming guy, you know. He's a cool dude, you know. I kind of like talking to him. But at the same time, Spence is our guy. I'm not. So of course he's gonna do what's best for, you know, his fighter, his guy. That's like, you know, any other manager / advisor would do. He would do the best for his fighter. So, you know, me and Al, we talks on the phone, you know. I get advice from other guys in PBC. They tell me, you know, be careful, make sure the deal is right. They tell me, make sure you don't get fucked. You know, just normal things from guys that's in they stable that I'm friends with. You know, I honestly can say I'm friends with. So you know, we going on and on, you know, and of course me and Al, you know, we going back and forth about, you know, the numbers. We not going back and forth about anything else. We just going back and forth about the numbers. All in all, I have two companies, you know, that reach out to me that, you know, wanted to give me and Spence $25 million guaranteed. $25 million guaranteed up front. So a real guy like myself, I call Spence. Hey, bro, look, listen. You know what I mean? I got this company that's willing to give us 25 million apiece, guaranteed. What's up? What you gonna do? He like 25 million. What about the back end? I'm like, dude, listen. If they make their money back, then we get 80-20. You know what I mean? It's simple math. I said, man, we got people all still in the fight. They got the fire sticks. He laughed. He like, man, I got a fire stick too. I'm like, see? I'm like, man, ain't nobody really buying, you know what I mean, pay-per-views no more. I said, man, we get this upfront money and we good. It's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? But one thing about me and the difference between me and the difference between Spence is I'm really my own boss now and he's not. He got to go through Al. He got to go through, you know what I mean, his team and ask them if he can do certain things that I don't have to no more. Yeah, I might have had to when I was with Top Rank because I was signed to Top Rank and they was my promotional company. So of course I had to go to Top Rank and ask them to get me this fight or do this for me or do that for me because I was obligated to do certain things by their standard because I was signed to them. But now that I'm a free agent and I'm free to do whatever I want, I'm the one sitting at the table. I'm the one that's you know talking directly to these high individuals. Errol Spence not talking to, you know what I mean, Terrence Crawford about the fight. You know what I mean? Errol Spence wasn't at the table. Errol Spence can't tell you or show you a contract that, you know what I mean, says Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, you know, that he was there on the negotiations of. He can't do it. You know, so he had to go back and ask Al for permission, you know, if he can, you know, take this big chunk of lump sum of money to fight Terrence Crawford, which he didn't call me back, so I proposed it to Al. I hit up Al. I'm like, Al, listen, you know, man, I got this big hedge fund company out here, you know, they claim they know you. Not one, but two. Not one, but two. You know what I mean? Two companies willing to put 20+ million in both of our pocket, guaranteed. Al tell me straight up, I'm not letting nobody touch this fight. Like, all right, cool. But I'm like, why? He like, why would you want to put a ceiling on yourself? Why you want to put a cap on yourself? I'm like, well, that's not putting a cap on myself. If this company is taking a risk, then, you know, high risk, you know what I mean, high reward. If that's the case, you know, I can't seem to see a fight that's been doing millions, you know, since Floyd and them. So That was an altercation. You know, I asked Al. I said, since this fight is dragging on with me and Spence, and we can't get things together, why don't I come out and meet you with my lawyer, and we just wrap it up, just me and you and my lawyer. Al said, his mother was, not doing too well, and I honor that and I respect that. Family first. I'm a family oriented type of guy, so I know what it is, to, you know, put your family first. So I'm cool with that. But then again, as negotiations still drag on, and I had stated that I wanted to fight in this year.
Okay, Stephen, let's just cut to the chase. He called out Terrence Crawford. What do we need to do to try to get that fight made next?
Well, people got to be realistic about money. I mean, that's the only obstacle at this point. I mean, long as we don't have a Daniel Kinahan involved, which that's a deal breaker. So if there's no Daniel Kinahan, there's no MTK, there's no associated, then we're good to go. People make a reasonable business deal, a fair business deal, then it can happen. People want to be unreasonable. People want to involve the Kinahans. It's not going to happen.
While the talks have been agonizingly long, we've learned from two sources very close to the situation that one of the issues that dragged this thing out for as long as it did had to do with Terrence Crawford's ties to alleged Irish drug cartel leader Daniel Kinahan. PBC head and Spence advisor Al Heyman wanted absolute assurance, insisted upon absolute assurance that Kinahan had no financial involvement in the fight. For good reason. We know that the U.S. Treasury has an intense focus on Kinahan as he's holed up in the Middle East. And we know that there's been intense scrutiny of those who have done business with Kinahan. Both Tyson Fury and the boxing trainer Ben Davison have basically been not allowed to leave the UK for the US based on the information that we've had from several sources, based on their connections to Kinahan. Sources told me that Heyman was tempted, actually because of his discomfort with Kinahan's involvement, to walk from the negotiations, but he ended up receiving sincere assurances that Kinahan was not going to be financially involved in this fight. And again, Heyman wanted Errol Spence, his fighter, to be in position to gain, this legacy victory and stand as an undisputed welterweight champion and earn his greatest purse ever. He was ultimately satisfied, as I said, that the Kinahan factor is not a factor and this fight can proceed.
Steven, you mentioned in a previous YouTube interview that Crawford working with Kinahan could be a potential stumbling block. I'm sure there are certain things you can and cannot say, but could you give us some details about the vetting process for, making sure Crawford wasn't aligned with Kinahan?
Well, look, I won't say anything specific to him because, like I said, I don't want to put any business out there, but I can answer the question generally. There's only so much you can do, and at the end of the day, you make all the diligent inquiries. Like, you're not going to hire a private investigator and go track him down and go through bank records. But you do your due diligence. You ask the question directly. You get the assurances, and then at a certain point, you got to take the man's word for it.
How you doing, Stephen Espinosa, man?
Good, brother.
Appreciate you coming in today and giving us your time. I just had a question for you. Could you clarify, if you can, like, is it anybody's fault between Errol and Terrence? Or is it in the middle? Like, is it Terrence's fault, more Errol fault? Or is it just in the middle of in the business of things?
Um,
He doesn't want to make headlines.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look. Let me. I definitely have an opinion on it, but
No, excuse me. No,
look.
before you go on, the reason why I did that is because I see a couple YouTubers on here, and I know that they after this they gonna go on their platform. Oh, it's Terrence fault. He's Stephen Espinosa said it, and so I'm trying to
Yeah.
eliminate that
Well,
right now.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid, as well. But I'll say this, I I don't know how Errol's at fault. Errol had his deal closed. He's ready to fight. He's been in camp, been committed for a while to this, um, and you know I think it's common knowledge. It's you know Crawford wasn't at the point where he was ready to close his deal. Um, I think we thought it was done a while back, but then didn't hear anything, and then next thing you know, he announced this. So I, you know, again, I've seen what a lot of people have written about. There's this thing was missing for the contractor. He needed this, and none of that has any correlation with my understanding of what was going on, nor with what I saw in contracts. So take that what you will, but I'm never going to criticize and say, look, you have to take this deal. You should have taken this deal. At the end of the day, that's part of being your own boss. But it's clear there's one guy who's still at the table and there's one guy who's not.
Um, I asked Al again because we seemed like we wasn't getting nowhere. So I asked Al. I said, Al, listen, why don't you get Spence and you, since you his representative, and I'll get myself and my lawyer, and we just make this fight. Anything we gotta do, we can do it right there and sign, seal, deliver. And Al told me straight up, that ain't never happened in the history of ever, where two fighters sit down at the table and they come to an agreement and they get a fight made like that. Not even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. So I'm like, okay, well, it's the first time for everything. I never heard of a fighter ever taking zero guarantee in a fight. I never heard of a fighter of a 4-rounder taking 0% of a guarantee. That is something that's new to me, but that's something that I was willing to do to make this fight happen. A lot of people, they say, oh, well, Terrence, you ducked, or Terrence, you did this and you didn't want to fight Spence. I'm the only one that was taking all the risks. I told him, all right, cool. I take no guarantee. I take, the less end of the money. Whatever it is you want, I take it, because that's how much confidence I got that I'm gonna beat that man. That's how much confidence I got I'm gonna beat that man. So, even though I know I was getting fucked in the long run, I just, wanted a little transparency. I said, okay, if I'm gonna bet on myself and I'm gonna go against all the odds, then I wanna, a little transparency. Of course, I wanna be able to write off on, things that's gonna affect my check. Of course, I wanna see if the numbers add up to what they telling me. You're not gonna go in. It's just simple to me to think that a person will go in a business with a person 50-50, and this person would tell them, well, you got to give me 50% down and I give you 50%, and then you say, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you how much we really made, but I'm going to just give you this. You just got to trust me. Come on now. It don't make no sense. I never was offered a guarantee, not once. I never, you know what I mean, was given anything. But here, you want this fight? We gonna fuck you, and then, you know what I mean, you got what you want. But, you know, that's how much confidence and faith I have in myself. You know, I took it all. I took it all. I took the risk. You know, big risk, big reward. That's how I look at it. And I believe in my abilities, and I believe in myself. So I'm like, it's whatever. You know, Errol Spence, he can't say the same. He can't say the same. You know, he on audio saying Al Heyman go make sure he's good. He's in the best position to win this fight. Of course he is. He supposed to. You know? You got everything surrounding you to help you. You know? So people mad at me because Al told me if I don't take this fight, he's just gonna go and Errol Spence gonna make eight figures. He's gonna make 8 figures without me. So basically, he telling me, well, you take this fight or leave it, or you got nothing. Basically, because we've been dragging and dragging and dragging. So when I don't know, like, the type of caliber of people that he been dealing with or they been dealing with, but I'm not the type of guy to just sit on my ass and sit on my hands for no man to feed my family. So you mad at me for taking a fight with a tough opponent. You know, you may not know him, but he's a tough opponent for a bigger purse, a guarantee that I wasn't even gonna get. You crazy in the head. You crazy in the head. So now here we go. You know what I mean? Back to square, you know what I mean, one. Like, what do you really expect? You expect me to be disrespected, ran over, stepped on, and just sit there and just take it? That's crazy. I was a good dude, man. I was a, you know, charming guy, you know. He's a cool dude, you know. I kind of like talking to him. That ain't even my style. See, me personally, I wasn't even gonna say nothing because I'm not the talkative type, and y'all pretty much know that. But sometimes, you know, you gotta say what's real. You gotta say what's on your mind, and you gotta stop letting these people just do what they want with you. A lot of people say Well, did he ask to see Bob Arum's books? Did he ask for transparency with Bob Arum? No, I didn't. You know why? A lot of y'all probably don't even know why. But I was signed to Bob Arum. I wasn't my own boss.
You know, obviously you're becoming a free agent. Bob said if you know, he would talk to you about individual fights. He mentioned Spence. He mentioned Josh Taylor. Is there any individual fight out there that appeals to you more than others? And secondly, when do you make the decision? How do you kind of go through it and come up with your decision?
Well, I'm pretty sure my decision is made already. You know, Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him. So how you gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him? So, you know, I'm moving forward with my career right now, and I wish everybody the best.
Right. And speaking of promoter, what's the status of you and Terrence Crawford's lawsuit, or Top Rank and Terrence Crawford's lawsuit?
Well, it's a little technical. We uh, asked that it be removed to a federal court, and the federal judge said no, it has to be in the state court. So they have to refile the case in state court, and this was 6 weeks ago, and they haven't. So I don't know whether the case is going forward or is not going forward. You know, right now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no case. I mean, no case from the. I'm not giving you an opinion on the merits of the case. I'm just saying there is no case because nothing's been filed.
Right. And Top Rank was unwilling to settle anything outside of court. You guys wanted to go the legal route.
Well, they hit us with the lawsuit before they asked us to sit down and see if we could settle.
I was given a guarantee on every single fight that I fought for Bob Arum and Top Rank. That's the difference. That's the difference, you guys. So if you guys can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know, so I stated that I want to fight this year, and that was my thing. I wanted to fight this year. So we going back and forth, numbers, boom, 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 boom. So the transparency part, you know, that was the dragger. Where was Errol Spence at? I didn't hear Errol Spence. Where was the tweets?
President on Showtime, Mr. Steven Espinoza, man, I thank you for coming on, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, Ted. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. I know you say you got a couple minutes, so just gonna go ahead and get into it. Now, I know what everybody want to know. I'm gonna start off with a bang. What everybody know, and I know you definitely had, put out a tweet on Twitter talking about the Errol Spence. You state, as I repeatedly said, it would not be productive to publicly discuss the details on certain negotiations while they're ongoing. Having said that, some of these rumors are comical. Can you expound on that a little bit?
I mean, to a certain extent, it's self-explanatory. Like I think when you've got high-level negotiations like this one, and it's there's strong feelings on both sides.
Yes,
It
sir.
just it doesn't help anything to talk about it publicly. I know that's something that a lot of people in boxing are used to, because there are certain promoters who that's what they do for clout.
Yes, sir.
They end up talking about a bunch of stuff that they know will never happen, throwing out names, and portraying things differently than what their true intentions are.
Yes, sir.
And here, like when you're really trying to make a deal, it's sort of my philosophical approach is, generally when you're trying to make a deal, there's very little that can be said publicly that helps that deal get made. So I know everyone's, everyone's interested. Everyone wants to know what's
Yeah.
going on. Everybody, wants it. And look, I'm a boxing fan as well too. I want it as much as anybody, and that's why, I'm staying quiet about it, because I think that's the best way to improve the chances of it getting made. But look, I'm on social media. I see stuff and hear stuff, and the speculation, and whether it's issues between PBC and Crawford, or me and PBC, or X dollars, or too generous offers, and offers that are not generous. I mean, it's silly. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on out there that the vast majority of it really has no connection to the truth.
Right.
And it makes you wonder sometimes. I mean, just are guys just sitting at home, trying to come up with stuff just to generate clicks, because it really doesn't connect to reality at all.
I didn't hear the tweets. I didn't see the tweets. Where was this guy at? He was under a rock. If you a real one, like you say you is, like the truth, you'll come out and tell the truth. You tell the truth, buddy. Come on, man. I called you and told you, listen, got this bread on the table, man. What is you doing? What is you doing? You not your own boss, my dude. So stop saying that you your own boss. Stop saying that you the truth and you this and you that, but you gotta answer to a lot of people, my dude. You gotta answer to a lot of people, and I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They got you to where you is now. They got you to where you is now. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying. But like, when you look at it, a lot of people say, oh, well, why you didn't fight Boots? Or why you didn't fight Ortiz? Well, them names that never came up. I would have fought them names in a heartbeat. Come on, man. I'm the best fighter in the world. Who you think I am? Who you think I am? I'm the best fighter in the world. I always fought in my mandatories. I ain't never ducked my mandatories.
Your promoter, Bob Arum, says he wants to make a fight between you and Sean Porter. Both you and Porter have said it's going to be about us. We're going to decide if we make that fight. Have you had a chance to talk to Sean in the last week, and where does that stand?
No, not at all. You know, like I said, that's not a fight that I'm focused on right now or even worried about. You know, I'm focused on other things right now.
You're not interested in a Porter fight?
Well, you know, if we had to fight, you know, and if it made sense, then that would be a fight that we both would agree upon. But I feel like right now, you know, that's not something that we should discuss right now because it's nothing on the table for me.
But, you know, yet and still, I hear through the grapevine, Spence is about to fight a guy that he promised and he swore that he wasn't going to fight, which is Keith Thurman. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that's what's floating around. So, what's up with the trueness with that?
I know that it's kind of out of your control here because I think that Spence has to deal with another mandatory before he deals with the WBC mandatory. But if am I mistaken? Isn't Boots Ennis your number one contender?
No, the WBC's mandatory is next. That has been confirmed. Thurman is a number one contender, but everything will be seen at the convention.
Oh, okay. That's going to be finalized at the convention?
Yeah, I believe Ennis is the IBF or...
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's my mistake.
It's the IBF mandatory.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah, we'll just see how that plays out. That will be obviously a newsworthy event at the convention.
You swear up and down that you're not gonna fight this guy. You don't care what nobody say. Now you about to fight him. So that means you was lying, buddy. But you know why he gotta fight Thurman? You wanna know why, fans? Because of the money. It's all about the money. Come on now. He not gonna make that much money fighting Ortiz or Boots. Come on, man, it's obvious. Who Spence gonna fight besides me that's gonna make, $20 million? Nobody. I don't know. But I'm going to tell y'all like this. I don't know how truthful it is, but, Floyd say, he's the spokesman of PBC and he's our right-hand man. We done heard that on numerous occasions. And Floyd came out and said that the fight wasn't happening in this year. So, y'all mad at me for going to get a bag? When did that ever happen? Y'all mad at me for going to get a bag? Come on, man. We're going to turn up with BLK Prime. You know what I mean? We're going to do our thing, man. We stepping up to the plate, man. They turning boxing around, man. All the biggest fights, going through them. They the new wave. Hey, giving these fighters, they just do. You want to fight this guy, they gonna make it happen. It's simple, But hey, my intentions is still the same. After this fight, Spence, successful. I'm successful. He said he gonna spin the block. Then let him spin the block so I can drop him off where he's standing. And that's just how I'm gonna keep it. It's just that simple. He spin the block. We're gonna be ready for whatever. Like, what do you really expect? You expect me to be disrespected, ran over, stepped on, and just sit there and just take it? That's crazy. And y'all fans, y'all can, you know what I mean, chop it up and edit it and put it however y'all want and try to change the narrative or my words. But December 10th, you know what I mean, tune in to BLK Pride. Black Pride, baby. We in the building. Tune in, y'all. If y'all don't, you know what I mean, y'all some haters. If y'all do, you know what I mean, it is what it is, man. Support the kid.